For 43 years, the official record said Hungary's 1956 Olympic pentathlete withdrew before the medal ceremony, but the IOC made sure you'd never learn that his scores had already been changed in the night before the final results were sealed. That's the story they filed. It isn't what happened. Someone decided this man's name would disappear. Here's what the scorecards were rewritten to hide. Melbourne, November 1956. 12 days before the Games began, Soviet tanks had rolled through Budapest. 200,000 Hungarians were dead or displaced, and the Hungarian Olympic team, swimmers, wrestlers, fencers, pentathletes, was already on the plane to Australia when their country changed forever. The modern pentathlon was 5 disciplines: fencing, swimming, shooting, riding, and running. 5 chances to beat the world. The Hungarian team had trained for 4 years on a broken country's budget with state security watching every practice. They were not supposed to win. They were supposed to show up, represent the regime, and come home. One man had other plans. His name was Imre Fabos, not Fabos the champion, not Fabos the defector, just Fabos. A 24-year-old from Győr who nobody outside Eastern Europe had tracked, whose pre-game scores qualified him in the middle of the field. The kind of athlete officials don't worry about. He won the fencing round outright, placed second in swimming by 0.3 of a second. His riding score was the highest of the entire field, a fact the official bulletin recorded then didn't repeat. Through 4 events, his cumulative point total put him in first place. That's not a disputed number. It appears in the working scorecards that survived in the Melbourne Organizing Committee's archive. Page 41, column 4. His name, his total, and a small ink correction made in a different hand. Someone changed a number, not by much. Enough. But that's not the part they buried. The obvious explanation is clerical error. Scorecards from 1956 were handwritten. Calculators were rare. Mistakes happened. The IOC said exactly that when a West German sports journalist raised the discrepancy in 1971. Administrative error. Regrettable but ancient. Case closed. Except 3 separate scorers initialed that page. All 3 initialed the original number. The correction bears no initial at all. And the man who supervised the pentathlon scoring for the Melbourne Games, a British official named Raymond Holt, filed a memo 3 weeks after the closing ceremony. That memo was classified by the IOC until 1999. When it was finally released, 2 paragraphs had been redacted. Raymond Holt's memo wasn't about a scoring error. It was a complaint. He had flagged the alteration the same night it happened. He named the official who made it. He stated directly that the change moved Fabos from first place into 4th, below the medal threshold, and that he had been told the correction was, quote, consistent with diplomatic considerations. Diplomatic considerations. In a sporting contest, the context becomes everything when you understand what was happening outside the stadium. The Soviet team had pressured Games organizers, through back channels, through the IOC's Soviet bloc representatives, to ensure no Hungarian athlete stood on a gold medal podium while the world's cameras were still rolling on Budapest. A Hungarian gold in Melbourne would have been a propaganda catastrophe for Moscow. A defector with a gold medal around his neck, telling the press what was happening back home, was something the Soviet bloc could not afford. Fabos finished 4th. He defected to Austria 3 days after the closing ceremony. He gave one interview to a Vienna newspaper, mentioned the scoring, and was never quoted in an international outlet again. For 43 years, his name appeared nowhere in any official pentathlon history, not in the IOC archive index. Not in the Hungarian Olympic Committee's published records. Nowhere. A man who may have won gold, erased. What it cost him, a career, a record, and any public proof that he'd been there. He worked as a fencing coach in Vienna for 30 years. He never competed internationally again. He died in 2003. His obituary in an Austrian regional paper listed him as a retired sportsman. No medals, no games, no results. What it cost the record. Every pentathlon history written between 1956 and 1999 carries a 4th-place finisher in Melbourne who may be phantom math. The man listed as bronze medalist that year has never been asked about page 41. Nobody has been. The IOC has not revisited the Melbourne pentathlon results. The 2 redacted paragraphs in Holt's memo remain redacted, not released, not explained, sealed under a provision that allows indefinite extension. That extension was last renewed in 2019. Someone renewed it. Someone decided 63 years after a handwritten number was changed in the night that you still shouldn't see those 2 paragraphs. Imre Fabos spent his life coaching other people's children to fence. He told one journalist the score was wrong. Once. The question that nobody in an official capacity has ever answered is, why does it still need to be hidden?